Hello guys, welcome to my channel Films with Denz. Today I'm going to be doing a movie recap about a hero who went undercover and saved one whole country. Thank you for watching my video. Click like, subscribe, and the bell icon to get the notifications on my next videos. Without further ado, let's get started. The story begins in a village with a little girl named Mulan. She comes from the Hua family, so her name is Hua Mulan. She is a very talented child and has a great Qi energy. She is very active. However, because of her energy and activeness, she's perceived as a naughty child because good girls were supposed to be calm and collected at the time. Very different from her younger sister, Hua Xiu, who is quiet and calm. One night, Mulan's parents argued. Her mother said that as a daughter, Mulan should bring honor to her family through marriage and be a good girl. But because she was too active and naughty, her parents were worried that no one would like her and take her as a wife. Mulan's father then explained to her that they must continue to bring honor and good name to their family so that the ancestors won't be disappointed. So she had to keep her attitude from being too active and be more calm and reserved. One day, on the Silk Road in northwestern China, Rouran troops attacked a Chinese imperial garrison there. The Rourans were led by a man named Bori Khan. In that troop, there was also a witch who could change her form into animals or humans. The garrison fell from the attack of the Rourans and was taken over by them. One soldier managed to escape the attack and immediately went to the imperial city to report what happened. When he arrived there, he informed the emperor that the garrison was attacked by Rourans. It turned out that the Rourans had attacked and overthrown 6 garrisons belonging to the Chinese Empire. If allowed to go any further, they will start attacking the center of government and overthrow the empire. Hearing this, the emperor made a decree. All families throughout the region had to provide one male member to become a soldier ready for war. After the order was declared, the soldier went out of the palace. It turns out the soldier was the witch who changed her form to the soldier from the previous attack. So the plans of the Chinese Empire have been revealed to the Rourans. The witch collaborates with Bori because she was exiled and she wants revenge. Some time had passed and Mulan has grown into a beautiful girl. When she got home, her mother had already arranged a meeting with a matchmaker. Her parents said that this was the moment when Mulan brought honor to their family. So she got ready, dressed up, and wore beautiful clothes to meet the matchmaker, even though, in fact, she felt forced. When she arrived at the matchmaker's house, she was taught the ways and etiquette of being a good woman and the etiquette of being a good wife. Instead of paying attention to matchmaker, Mulan couldn't focus because there was an insect near the teapot. Seeing the insect, Mulan's sister became disgusted and screamed. The insect jumped towards the matchmaker and created chaos inside the house. Mulan was immediately labeled as unfit to be a good wife and have brought shame and disgrace to the Hua family because of Mulan's unethical and crude attitude. Suddenly, a group of imperial soldiers arrived, bringing news that the Chinese Empire was being attacked, and the emperor asked each family to provide one of their male family members to be trained and become combat-ready soldiers. When the Hua family was called, Mulan's father approached the soldiers bravely, even though his leg was injured from the previous war. The soldier asked if there were no sons in his family. Her father answered that he was blessed with 2 daughters, and he would go to war to bring honor and good name to his family. When he wanted to take the command scroll, he fell, but he immediately stood up. It's a very saddening situation. That night, Mulan's father prepared his sword and his battle armor. It looked like he was unfit to be a soldier because when he held his sword, his hands trembled and he had difficulty focusing. Seeing that her father was no longer fit to be a soldier, Mulan dared to take his position. He put on his father's battle armor, took his sword, and the order scroll that night while her family was still asleep. In the morning, Mulan's father was shocked to see that his sword and armor were gone. There, he sees Mulan's hairpin and realized that Mulan went to take her place. He then prayed to the ancestors and to the phoenix, a sacred ancestral symbol, to give Mulan the blessings and protection she needed. When Mulan arrived at the soldiers' barracks, she met a man named Hong Hui. He was also about to register as a soldier. But because she was not used to being close to men, Mulan immediately took out her sword and told Hong Hui to stay away. Hong Hui did the same thing and told Mulan to drop her sword. Seeing this, Commander Tang intervened and took their swords with martial arts grace. He said that fellow soldiers should not fight. Commander Tang asked Mulan what her name is. She gave him a fake name. She gave him Hua Jun. That night, Mulan gathered with other soldiers in a large tent. Shocked because she was not used to living surrounded by many men, she chose to take night guard duty so that she would not be suspected of being a woman. That night, she felt lonely and homesick because this was a very new and unfamiliar experience for her. In the morning, the soldiers were given a warning by their superiors. Anyone who commits theft, desertion, and bring women to the camp will be given a death penalty. Meanwhile, anyone who is dishonest will be expelled and stigmatized as a disgrace to the state and their family. After that, the training of the soldiers began. Commander Tang shows off his sword skills as an example for the soldiers' training. At first, the soldiers had difficulty following the regiments because they were very, very tough. They are trained to use weapons such as swords and arrows. After that, they were physically trained by climbing steps on a hill while carrying 2 large buckets full of water. And they must lift the 2 buckets as high as their shoulders while they are climbing. Not a single soldier had made it to the top with that training. Day after day, each soldier continued to train, and slowly they began to master the regiments given. But still not a single soldier had managed to finish the regimen of climbing a mountain carrying the 2 buckets of water. Mulan also then bonded with other soldiers. Some of them are Ling, Yao, Po, and Cricket. One day, the soldiers were practicing with spears. Because Mulan and Hong Hui are very competitive people, they don't just practice, but actually sparred with each other. All the soldiers surrounded them created a circle, watching them excitedly. Commander Tung looked at the two of them and saw Mulan's spear skills. It turned out that Mulan was a very talented martial artist in using spears or even swords. Commander Tung and all the soldiers who saw her were amazed by her skill. One day, Mulan was asked to meet Commander Tung. The commander asked why would she hit the chi she had, even though it was an extraordinary blessing. Commander Tung explained that anyone who could control the chi within themselves would become a great person. Every night, Mulan trains to control the chi within herself. One day, during the mountain climbing regiment, Mulan and all the other soldiers started climbing. In the middle of the hill, when all the soldiers were tired, Mulan was still climbing because she had managed to control her chi. And finally, she reached the top of the hill. After that, the Roran troops attacked a garrison and they were getting close to the soldiers' barracks. All soldiers were prepared to fight and defend the garrison, even though they haven't been practicing for long. Finally, they traveled to the garrison near the foot of the hill. On the way, the destruction and horror of war can be seen as far as the eye can see. Finally, the entire army arrived at the garrison. That night, they received news that the Roran army was near. Commander Tung told the soldiers to get ready because at dawn, they would welcome and fight the Roran army. Mulan's friends felt anxious and afraid, but Mulan said that being afraid is normal and part of being a human. In the morning, the Roran troops were greeted by Chinese imperial soldiers who were already prepared to engage them. Without waiting for long, Bori Khan immediately launched a cavalry attack. Commander Tung prepared the archers to stand by, and then when the Roran cavalry were within range, they let loose their arrows. Some of the Roran troops fled away. Commander Tung ordered Mulan and several other soldiers to chase those who fled. During the chase, the Roran troops turned out to be very skilled at archery and horseback, and could even maneuver facing backwards while the horse was moving forward. Mulan and the other soldiers, unable to fight the Roran troops, some of them were shot down. The rest retreated to return to the main army. Mulan alone went to chase the Roran troops into the mountain crater. There she met the witch. The witch asked Mulan to tell her true identity. Mulan continued to attack the witch, but Mulan was no match for her. The witch then launched her final attack and sent Mulan flying, crashing into large rocks. Mulan was unconscious, and at that time, Hua Jun died. But Mulan lived. She no longer wanted to try and hide her identity. She took off her battle armor and her hair tie, leaving her long hair hanging down, which made her look like her true self. Mulan has extraordinary martial arts talent, destroying the Roran troops on the battlefield. Seeing her extraordinary skills and seeing that she was a woman, the Roran troops immediately ran away in fear. They thought she was a witch, because it was very rare to find such great female warriors at the time. The witch used her power to attack and distract the main army of the Chinese Empire. The troops then went into a defensive position. It turned out that the Roran troops had prepared a giant catapult over the upper ground. The Chinese imperial troops who were in a defensive position became easy targets. One by one, the battalion was hit by huge rocks and was wiped out. Mulan saw that she could use the ice on the hill to create an avalanche. She immediately made a diversion, brought several soldiers' helmets and placed them on the rocks. Made it look like there are soldiers coming from the top of the hill. Without thinking, the Roran troops turned their catapults towards the top of the hill and threw one large rock that hit the snowy ice on that hill. Instantly, all the icy snow cracked and a tremendous avalanche occurred. Mulan quickly mounted her horse to escape. An avalanche then wiped out the entire Roran army and their war weapons. After that, Mulan rejoined Commander Tang and all the soldiers. They were shocked to see that Mulan was actually a woman. Seeing Mulan's dishonesty, Commander Tang expelled her from the battalion and exiled her with dishonor. Mulan walked alone back to her village. On the way, she met the witch. The witch said that Mulan and herself were the same. Both are seen as oddities because women who has great talent was not normal at the time. The witch invited Mulan to join her, and together they could bring down the empire. However, Mulan refused and immediately rushed to Commander Tang's garrison. There, she informed the soldiers that the Rorans will infiltrate the city and attack from within. Commander Tang was doubtful about Mulan's words because she had lied before.
I believe Hua Mulan.
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 But the other soldiers believed in Mulan because of her bravery in battle. Seeing Mulan's courage and the soldiers' trust in her, Commander Tang finally trusted her as well and ordered all the soldiers to prepare to return to the imperial city. The witch and the Rorans have already infiltrated the city. The witch then took the form of the prime minister, and she told the emperor that Bori Khan had invited him to a duel in the new palace that was being built outside the city. With anger, the emperor accepted the duel and prepared to meet Bori Khan outside the city along with his entourage. The witch, in the form of the prime minister, ordered the head guard to gather all the guards in the city square, leaving the guard towers and city walls empty and unguarded. Seeing the signal given, Bori Khan immediately launched his attack. Mulan and the other soldiers have arrived in the city. They are confused as to why the main gate was wide open and there were no guard at all. In the city square after they arrived, it turned out that they were immediately ambushed by Roran troops. Outside the city, in the new palace, the emperor meets Bori Khan and is about to duel. It turned out that the emperor fell into Bori's trap. He was trapped by the Rorans and tied up at the top of the palace. Back in town, Mulan, Hon Hui, and her friends fight a group of Roran troops. Hon Hui then tells Mulan to go ahead and let him handle them. Then Mulan met the witch. The witch was shocked. How could the soldiers believed in Mulan? Because of the stigma that women cannot be great unless they are a witch. Mulan told the witch to repent because it's not too late. the witch turned into an eagle and went into the direction where the emperor was held captive. The emperor was tied up and was about to be killed by Bori. Suddenly, the witch came and he saw Mulan was coming with her. Angry because the witch betrayed him, Bori shot an arrow at Mulan. But because Mulan was unaware, the witch rushed to take the form of an eagle and blocked the arrow attack with her own body. The witch got hit by an arrow. Then she died. Mulan met Bori and she fought him. There was a fierce fight. Bori, with his great strength, was able to push and stagger Mulan. Then her sword was thrown into the liquid fire and melted. The emperor told Mulan to stand up and fight like a phoenix coming to life from its ashes. With all her strength, Mulan got up and fought Bori again, as if all the ancestral powers were with her. Mulan managed to defeat Bori as he fell. Still not dead, Bori took the arrow beside him and shot it at the emperor. However, the emperor, who still has great skill, managed to catch the arrow. And the arrow was kicked back by Mulan and shot into Bori's direction. But Bori could not catch it. The arrow pierced Bori's heart and he was finally dead. Finally, Mulan was awarded by the emperor personally to become one of the emperor's personal guards, along with other great warriors. But Mulan refused, saying that she had abandoned her family and made a decision that could bring dishonor to them. So from that moment, she promised to always be loyal, brave, and true. And to do that, she had to improve her relationship with her family. She then met Hong Hui for the last time and said goodbyes. Mulan then returned to her village. Her sister Hua Xiu immediately greeted her happily. Her mother happily hugged her. Then she met her father. She apologized because she had stolen his horse, his sword, and his armor. She also apologized because she had lost his very valuable sword. But his father said that Mulan was his most valuable treasure. Suddenly, Commander Teng arrived personally to give Mulan a gift from the emperor himself, a sword that has a jade scabbard and has the 3 virtues engraved: loyal, brave, and true. And it turned out there was a 4th virtue engraved in the back, namely the devotion to family. Mulan was still given the opportunity to become a great warrior and become one of the emperor's personal guards. Thus, the story of Mulan ends. This story is absolutely extraordinary. It touches on social topics such as women emancipation and gender equality. But most importantly, loyalty, bravery, and truth. Thank you very much for watching until the end. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, and the bell icon to get notifications of my other videos. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.